So let us now discuss problem number 3. The cross-section is loaded by VU, which is equal to 223 kN, a torque of 40 kN meter, F prime C, which is equal to 20.7 megapascal, Fy of 415 megapascal, tapos meron na tayong given na Fyt, which is equal to 275 megapascal. We will use 1.0 for normal weight concrete. And we will have 40 mm clear cover at both sides. So sa kada side daw, from the face of your stirrups hanggang dun sa outermost fiber, that is 40. Same with this one, 40 din yung nandirito natin. Yung sa susunod din is, etong nasa taas natin, this is 40 din. Eto din, this is 40. So, yung clear concrete cover natin, that is 40. So, meron tayo dito na L-beam. So, yung lapad niya sa taas, yung flange niya is 600. The thickness is 125. Yung base ng web niya, that is 300. And the total depth niya is 500. And yung effective depth naman niya, from the center of the reinforcement to the outermost fiber of your beam in compression, we have 435.5. So, yung stirrups na ginamit dito is 12 mm diameter stirrups. So, for this problem, for this section, we are required to compute the maximum value of torque where additional reinforcement for torsion is not required. Pangalawa, determine the required spacing of the 12 mm diameter traverse torsional reinforcement. And lastly, determine the additional area of longitudinal steel required for torsion. So una is isolve muna natin yung maximum value of torque where additional reinforcement for torsion is not required. So hanapin daw natin yung maximum value. So meaning to say, by the code, so kapag yung TU natin, that is less than to this value, less than or equal to this value, therefore, torsional reinforcement is not required. So this is torsion. So torsional reinforcement is not required kapag less than yung value ng T sub U natin to this given value. Therefore, kung i-equate natin etong TU natin to this threshold torsion, we can now say na makukuha natin yung maximum value. Kasi etong value na to, this is the maximum value wherein kapag nalagpasan ng TU etong threshold torsion natin, magkakaroon tayo ng reinforcement. Pero as long as hindi nalalagpasan ni TU etong threshold torsion natin, wala tayong kailangan na reinforcement sa torsion. So with that, hanapin na natin yung value ng ACP natin. So that is the area of your that will be the area. So meron tayong 300 by 500 plus yung naiwan, so eto, meron tayong 600 sa kabuuan minus 300, so 300 na lang to, multiplied by 125. So you have a value of your area which is now equal to 187,500. Then next naman, let us calculate for the value of your perimeter. So paano naman yon? So this will be 300 plus 500 plus 600 plus 125 plus etong dito naman na 300 plus yung last naman, that is equal to 375. So you have a value of your perimeter which is now equal to 2,200. Since meron tayong value ng ACP and we have the value of your PCP, we can now calculate for the value of your maximum value of torque where additional reinforcement for torsion is not required, o yung tinatawag nating threshold torsion. So for this one, we have TU is equals to, so since NSCP 2015, so 0.75, 1.0, square root of yung F prime C natin na given, which is equal to 20.7 over 12, multiplied by ACP na 187,500, i-square natin yan over PCP na 2,200. So you have a value of your TU which is now equal to 4.54 kilonewton meter. So this will now become your answer. So next naman, hahanapin natin yung required spacing of 12 mm diameter traverse torsional reinforcement. So una, tingnan muna natin kung kailangan ba talaga nalagyan ng reinforcement yung beam natin against torsion. So pag-compare natin yung TU natin na actual, which is equal to 40 kilonewton meter. So this is yung actual value natin versus dito sa nakuha natin na limiting value natin sa threshold torsion, which is equal to 4.54 kilonewton meter. Since nalagpasan ng actual value natin yung capacity ng beam natin to withstand torsion, therefore, torsional reinforcement is required. So after nating ma-check yan, so dito sa next problem natin, hanapin daw natin yung required spacing. Spacing of 12 mm diameter transverse reinforcement. So after nating ma-compute, yan, let us now calculate for the value ng mga torsional reinforcement natin. So recalling yung mga formulas natin para makuha natin yung transverse reinforcement, that is equal to AH is equals to AT over S plus AV over 2S. So for this one, no, so pagkuha natin ng mga values, since we are considering transverse reinforcement, let's compute now yung value ng ano natin, AOH natin, at saka yung PH. So paano po natin yon kukunin? So for this one, gagawin natin is we will just focus dito sa perimeter ng stirrups natin. So this one from the center of your stirrups going to the center ng isa pa nating stirrups, that is the value of your X. So this will be the value of your X. Same principle lang tayo along sa Y natin. This is the value of your X. Next naman sa Y, from the center of your stirrups along Y-axis to the center of your stirrups along the other end. So this will be the value of your Y. So what will be the value of your X and Y? So gamitin lang natin yung mga value. You have X. So this is equal to, so meron tayo dito, ang kabuuan niya is 300 minus 40 minus 40. So you have 18 minus kalahati ng stirrup sa kabila minus kalahati ng stirrup sa kabila. So that is equal to 10. That is equal to 12. Kasi 6 plus 6, so you have 12. So the value of your X will now equal to 208 mm. How about the value of your Y? So the total height niya is 500 minus 40 sa taas minus 40 sa baba. That is 18. Minus kalahating stirrups minus kalahating stirrups. Meron tayong buong stirrups na 12. So the value of your Y is now equal to 408 mm. So let us now compute for the value of your AOH. So ano yung AOH natin? That is 208 multiplied by 408. So yung AOH natin, ito yan. So kahit na L pa yung ano natin, section natin, so ito yung AOH natin, that is enclosed by the center of your reinforcement ng mga stirrups natin. So you will have a value of AOH is now equal to 84,864. How about the value of your P sub H? So you have twice lang natin yung 208 plus twice natin yung 408. Kunin lang natin yung perimeter along the center line ng mga stirrups natin. So you will have a value of 1,232 mm. After nating ma-compute yan, let us compute for the value of your V sub C. So that is, since wala naman sinabing simplified or detailed, let's choose simplified. Lambda square root of F prime C BWD. So V sub C, we have 0.17. Lambda, that is 1.1. Square root of F prime C natin na 20.7 multiplied by BW. So that will be the width of your web. So kahit na anong mangyari, no, kapag sinabi nating width ng web, that is always shown perpendicular dun sa direction ng VU natin. Since yung VU natin, lagi naman pag ganyan yan. So meaning to say, yung perpendicular na dimension dito sa direction ng VU natin, that is yung BW natin. So kahit na, so you have 300 multiplied by yung effective depth natin na 435.5. So we have a value of your V sub C which is equal to 101.10 kilonewton. So after that, no, gamitin na natin etong formula natin for combined shear and tension. Hanapin muna natin yung value ng 80 over S natin. And after that, let's compute for the value of AV over 2S. So hanapin muna natin yung 80 over S. So paano natin yan isosolve? So gagamitin lang natin yung formula natin na T sub N over 2AO. So that is 2AO FYT cotangent theta. So what will be the value of your AO? So that is 0.85 of AOH. So etong AOH natin, 0.85% lang. So the value of your A sub O is now equal to 72,134.4 mm squared. How about your theta? That is 45 degrees. And the value of your T sub N, that will be yung TU natin na 40 over 0.75. So you have a value of your T sub N which is equal to 53.33 kilonewton meter. So isa-substitute natin yung mga values natin. Yung Tn natin, that is 53.33 times 10 raised to 3 over 2. Yung AO natin, that is 72,134.4 multiplied by. So dito meron na tayong FYT as indicated sa problem natin, which is equal to 275. And we have cotangent of 45 degrees. So the value of your 80 over S is now equal to 1.344 millimeter squared per millimeter. After that, na-compute na natin yung value ng 80 over S. Let us now calculate for the value of your AV over S, which is denoted by V sub S over FYT o multiplied by D. So ngayon yung problema lang dito, what will be the value of your VS? VS is equals to VU over reduction factor minus V sub C. V sub S is equals to yung VU natin na na-compute na given na 223 divided by 0.75 minus yung V sub C natin which is equal to 101.10. So you will have a value of your V sub S which is equal to 196.23 kilonewton. So kung isa-substitute natin yung mga values natin times 10 raised to 3, yung given natin na FYT na 275, yung effective depth natin na 435.5. So you have a value of your AV over S which is equal to 1.638 millimeter squared per millimeter. So meron na tayong value ng AT over S. Meron na tayong value ng AV over S. We can now calculate for the value ng total area natin. So let us now solve for the value of your total area. So AH is now equal to yung AT over S natin na 1.344 plus yung AV over S natin na 1.638 over 2. So you will have a value of your total area which is equal to 2.163 mm squared per millimeter. And let us now calculate for the value of your spacing. That is yung area ng 1 bar over the total area. So meron tayo dito na gagamitin na 12 mm squared. 12 mm diameter bars. Yung area, total area natin, this is 2.163 mm squared per millimeter. Tapos eto mm squared to, makakancel yung mm squared, matitira is mm. So you will have a value of 52.287. So that is approximately equal to 15. After natin ma-compute yung S, let us now solve for the value of your S max, which is pH over 8. So yung pH natin, that is equal to 1,232 over 8. So you have a value of 154. Kaso nga lang, round down tayo lagi to the nearest tens. So that will be 150 or 300. So meron tayong tatlong values ng spacing. 50, 150, or 300. We will going to use the smallest value. So use S is equals to 50 mm on center. So this will be the spacing of our transverse reinforcement. Yung susunod na tinatanong sa problem, what is the additional area of longitudinal still required to torsion? Hanapin natin yung additional area natin sa longitudinal. So for this one, kailangan muna natin ipag-compare yung value ng AT over S to this criteria. So meron tayong 0.175 multiplied by yung BW natin na 300 over yung FYT natin na given na 275. So you will have a value of 0.191. Wherein yung AT over S natin, that is equal to 1.344. Iko-compare natin yan sa 0.191. Since it is greater, therefore, okay siya. Then, after that, after na i-check natin yung dalawang quantity, we will now solve for the value of your area of longitudinal steel. So, meaning to say, ito yung formula natin. Etong theta natin, that is 45 degrees for non-pre-stress. So, we have yung pH natin na given kanina, na na-compute natin, na 1232. Yung 80 over S natin na 1.344 over, dito naman FYT. Meron tayong given na 275 over yung FY natin na 415. Multiplied by cotangent theta, which is equal to 45 degrees. Wherein tong cotangent theta na to, this also equivalent to 1. 1 lang yan. So the value of your AL is now equal to 1,097.222 mm squared. Siyempre, ipagko-compare natin yan to the value ng minimum natin na area. So meron tayo dito 5, square root of yung F prime C natin na 20.7, yung ACP natin na 187,500 over 12 yung FY natin, which is equal to 415 minus yung AL natin na 1,097.222. So the value ng AL minimum natin, that is negative 240.723 mm squared. Kaso nga lang wala namang negative eh. Diba? Wala namang negative na area. That's why kunin natin yung higher value. Therefore, yung AL na gagamitin natin o yung area na gagamitin natin is 1,097.222 mm squared. So this will be your area.